So, before we close the tutorial for today, I'm gonna give you a little bit of a kind of like a lesson, because in the next tutorial that we're gonna be doing, we're gonna be actually installing a router inside of the TerraMaster NAS system, so we can use it for our fiber optics connections and whatever else you might wanna use it for. Inside of VirtualBox, if you go to the network, and you see this here, it will tell you what it is attached to. And if you see here, you see there's a lot of different networks here, right? You see this? I actually want you guys to practice and reading up a little bit about this, because when we make the router in the next section, you need to know this. This is actually quite important. So I'm going to briefly tell you what each and every one does. Yeah. So in the first one, you have NAT, which basically stands for network translations. Yeah. Basically, what happens is the virtual machine will have access to the internet, but it will not have access to the host, and it will not have access to any of the other VMs that you currently have. The next one that you have is the NAT network, network translated network. Basically, it will have communication with all other virtual machines that you have, and it will have internet access, but it will not have connections to the host. So it's a one-way connection. Yeah. The next thing that you're going to be looking at is the bridged adapter. Now, this is basically open things. Yeah, this basically full open network. Basically, it gives you full access to the network, and it will be able to get connections to the virtual machines. It will be going both ways. It will have access to all the physical machines. It will have access to the internet. It will have all access. Yeah. The next one is the internal network. Yeah. The internal network, you only have communication within the machines of the virtual machines that you have on that network. You can actually name that network. So if I click here, you see there's a name. I can actually make a name here, and I can basically make a new network, and every single virtual machine that is on that network can connect to each other, but not to anything else. The next one that we have is the host-only adapter. The host-only adapter is basically connection within the virtual machines, but it also have access to the host. Yeah, but it does not have access to the internet. Yeah, so make sure that you kind of familiarize yourself with this and take a look at it, because in the next section, when we make the router and everything, this is actually quite important. But at the same time, when you do guacamole, when you do guacamole like this, if you don't have the correct settings, it actually is very bad, because guacamole is a remote connection to your systems, right? So if you don't have it secured, bad things will happen. Yeah. So make sure you look it up and make sure that you do the right thing, right? And in the next section, we're going to be doing the open sends or PF sends, depending on whichever we will pick. It doesn't really matter. It's basically the same thing. So depending on how we're going to look at it, we're going to make that router. And we're going to put it here. We're going to make a new machine. We're going to put up a router here. And we're going to use the TerraMaster NAS as a firewall and router, and you can connect and do a lot of things. You can actually use it as your own dedicated router, as long as you make sure that you block in the TerraMaster NAS firewall, that you block it so that anything from that connection cannot access the NAS. As long as you do that and you put it on a separate VLAN, it's perfectly safe. So make sure you do that. Yeah? We're going to be going through that router setup in the next video. So I hope you enjoyed this one. And as always, see you later.